respected evermore. Respected evermore. Respected evermore. Multi-stream master, restreams his game. Man, Tafer's calling, but he's fanning the flame. Mustang Cobra GT roaring down the road. E-bike cruising, yeah, he's breaking the code. Independence flows like the mountain streams. Tommy's got the vision, living out his dreams. From the latest news to the wildest fights, he's sparking the baits under starry night. Tommy Temper, YouTube king, rocking the streams, hear the people sing. Super chat popping, channel membership soared. Alberta's proud, son respected evermore. Respected evermore. Respected evermore. Worldwide they watch from near and far. Tommy's got the vibe, he's a streaming star. Trolls try to trip him, but he's standing tall. Mic drop moment, yeah, he's got it all. Hot tub sessions, lake house in the glow. Rocky Mountain spirit, where the free winds blow. He's calling out the noise, keeping it real. Tommy Temper's heart is made of steel. Tommy Temper, YouTube king, rocking the streams, hear the people sing. Super chat popping, channel membership soar. Alberta's proud, some respected evermore. Respected evermore. So raise a glass to Tommy, the man, the myth, streaming for the truth, giving spirits a lift. From the Rockies to the world, his legend will grow. Tommy Temper, forever stealing the show.
Oh yeah. Hey, good to see you all. I'm just I didn't realize, I thought I had something wrong with my chroma key, but meanwhile I had a hoodie on the back of my chair here behind me, which was kind of weird. Yeah, just trying to figure that out there. Hey, how's everyone doing there today? Yeah, hopefully you're doing well. You're watching the Tommy Temper Show. We've got a new call-in phone number here that I'm testing out. I'm just testing this out. I got a brand new phone number here just for the Tommy Temper Show, and or for people to call me up, if they want to talk about independence or stuff like that. Today, as you can see, the title is about independence. So actually, if somebody wants to just phone up just to test the line here, that would be really great. I would really appreciate that. If somebody would dial that phone number that's scrolling right there on the bottom of the screen from over there to over here, we can test that thing out and see if it's actually working. Give us a phone call. Call into the Tommy Temper Show, 1-780-655 or 6652-2889. I gotta have to remember that number. It's actually a pretty easy number, 780-652-2889. Easy to dial up. And hang on. We got a phone call coming in here. Let me just see if we're on. We're on the Bluetooth speaker here. Can you hear me? Hey, caller, come on in here, caller. You're on the Tommy Temper Show. Can you hear me? It sounded like we did have an anonymous caller there, but they hung up on me there, so we're not going to be able. Well, at least I heard the call come in anyways, and I heard that ringtone. It's the first time I've heard that ringtone. And it sounds kind of cool. Yeah, if there's anybody else that wants to call into the show, give us a call. Call in at 780. Let's see. Let me read it here. 780-652-2889. It's a call-in show here. We're going to... actually, this is going to be great for my night show, like Tommy Temper After Dark, like Coast to Coast AM, where people can call in and tell us about their cryptoids or, ghosts or whatever the hell it is that we're talking about. UFOs and the alien abduction. We can hear all about your alien abduction, that kind of thing. But anyways, if anyone wants to call in on the show here, we're talking about Alberta independence here today. But we'll just to give you a test phone call, so that we can test the audio, make sure that it's coming through correctly through the Rodecaster Pro 2 that I have enabled with Bluetooth and connected to my phone with Bluetooth. And by the way, this is a soft phone number, and it's a soft phone on my phone. If you guys know what that is, basically it's an app, and I'm using a service called VoIP, VoIP .ms, VoIP.ms. So basically, what you do is you load the VoIP.ms app on your phone, and you create an account. It's probably easier to do with your computer. Go to VoIP.ms on your computer, and you can create an account very easily. And then you load a few bucks on there. It doesn't cost you very much. You got to start with, like maybe give them $20 or something like that. And then there is a cost per call, like 0.0008 cents per minute or something like that, that I have to pay for that. I think that you might have to pay to phone me on that phone number. It's not a toll-free incoming line. But if I make a phone call outgoing on it, I have to pay a little bit of money for it, and you can top up the account, whatever. So, anyways, that's what I did. Is I used to have a phone called VoIP, the VoIP phone. If you guys remember VoIP at all, and if whatever happened to VoIP, I don't know. They disappeared. They got taken over by Microsoft or something like that, and then the VoIP phone service just kind of disappeared. So I ended up not being able to use that. I had a phone number and everything all set up, whatever, and I paid for the phone number, and then it just disappeared into the ether. So I lost that phone number. So I just registered this new phone number here today so that we can get the odd phone call coming in here. And yeah, I remember the last time that I had that phone number set up with the VoIP system, and the very first phone call that I had come in here was a kind of a prank phone call, and actually the guy that phoned me is now dead, if you can believe that. So yeah. Anyways, the new phone number here is going to see whether or not that's going to work. Wow, it's getting terrible outside there. It looks like a big storm coming in here. The sky has turned black. If I was one of these guys that run around going, hurricane watch, or not hurricane, tornado watch or something like that, yeah, I would be a good guy to do a tornado watch, because it's that kind of a day out there right now. So yeah, it's looking pretty crazy out there right now. Hang on a second. Let me just go over to my live and hit that live and stop that live video. But look at my chat over there, and looks like the chat is going good. Real Red Mama over there, looking good. I can see you chatting in there. I'll move the what's that? The trains too. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you in there. Okay. That's how we roll. Is that how we move it? You got to move it, move it, move it, move it, move it. Okay. Call in show today. Call in. Any guests out there, you want to call in at 1-780-652-2889. We want to test out our phone service here and see if it's actually working. Side chat. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Got some side chat going on there. Got some new people popping in here. We got Only Mr. Bill. Hey, Only Mr. Bill. How you doing? How you doing? I pop around there once in a while and just check and see what you're up to there. I noticed that you were doing some new stuff there today. I just kind of swung around the various channels on my way through, but good to see you there, Mr. Bill, in there. We got Chris in there, looking good. Oh, we got another phone call coming in here. Let's check out our phone call here. Stand by. Hello, caller. You're on the Tommy Temper Show. How are you doing today? Caller? Hello, caller. I think I have audio going through the Rodecaster. Oh, Oh, whoever it was, that was anonymous. It says anonymous here. Oh, hang on. Coming in again. Hello, anonymous caller. You're on the Tommy Temper Show.
Hey,
Can you hear
what's
me?
up, Tommy Temper? Came over from Mr. Bill. How we doing?
Oh, okay. Yeah. What did you say? It was it Camo?
Came over from Mr. Bill Stream. This is Raw, fellow streamer.
Oh, okay. I didn't get your name there. You cut out. Oh, you came over from Mr. Bill's stream. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, looking good. Let's see. I don't know if I can see your name there. We got Chris X Sims came over. We got Maple Boy and Unscripted. So I'm not sure what your handle is there.
So I'm unfiltered and raw. So I just hopped on your phone. So I wanted to bring up the topic of Canada, your guys' alleged constitution, and see where you are on, you guys not really having a constitution. It was an act of parliament by the United Kingdom that granted you guys, the right to have a government, we'll say. I want to know your feelings and your thoughts on Canada not having an official constitution.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we have more of what's known as a charter, and we have our freedom of rights, and we don't really have what's known as free speech, but we're able to speak somewhat freely, but you can't say bad things or hurt other people's feelings or stuff like that. So if Alberta ever does separate from Canada, then we're probably going to rewrite our rules of engagement, shall we say, to become more like the United States. That's what we really want to do. That's part of the reason that Alberta wants independence. But yeah, we're like a throw over from the way things are done over in England.
Yeah, the first thing you guys need to do, obviously, is a Declaration of Independence, right? I was having a discussion with a Canadian, and they were like, "You're wrong. We have a constitution." So I went to the 1867, the British, well, you guys call it the Constitution Act. It was an act of parliament by the United Kingdom that granted basically civil liberty. We're not really many civil liberties. Like you said, you guys don't have free speech. You really don't have any rights if you read the documents. And it was amended in 1982, I believe it was, which was the Modern Constitution Act, which allegedly gave Canada its sovereignty, but it didn't. It actually didn't. It didn't unwrite the 1867 Constitution Act.
Yeah.
It didn't unwrite it. It just added to it. So you have parliamentary laws that are masquerading as a constitution. And it's insane that the average Canadian I speak to, and I'm American, right? They don't even understand it. They never even read your guys' own documents. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, well,
because you guys are to the north, right?
Yeah. Well, we do have certain rights here. Like, for example, we have the freedom to be able to video in public, for example, and you can do that. You can't video, you can video inside of a business or whatever, but if somebody tells you not to, then you can't do that. But you do have the right to be a member of the press. Like if you have a camera in your hand, you're basically a member of the press. So you do have the ability to do things like that. But you're right, we're definitely are clamped down on, and we don't have the same rights that you guys do in the States. There's no doubt about that. Then that's kind of part of the reason that, like I say, I'm flying the Alberta flag here behind me. We want independence from Canada, start our own country, write our own constitution, and kind of maybe map it a little more closely to what is going down in the States, because you guys definitely have one up on us up here in Canada. There's no doubt about that.
Well, you guys can keep the flag if you like the flag. We won't debate the flag, but the 51st state thing, you guys are more than welcome to join the greatest country on earth, right? We have a lot of Americans that would be all for that because you guys have a lot of beautiful land, right?
Yeah, I copy that. Well, the way it will happen is if we do become an independent country, the country of Alberta, the Republic of Alberta, That's the very first step. Then it's a democracy, right? We're voting, and we're all going to have a vote as per democracy. And after we do become a country, then if somebody wants to make a vote to become the 51st state, then again, we'll have another vote and ask the people of Alberta whether or not they want to become the 51st state. It won't be like a carte blanche thing that will happen as soon as Alberta becomes independent. So yeah, thanks a lot for the offer. We appreciate that. Now, that being said, if it does happen, I know that you guys will have to somehow vote with all of your states to accept Alberta in as the 51st state. So that's another hurdle that has to be passed at that time. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and it would have to go through an act of Congress. It'd be an act of Congress, and it would go through. And that, I don't think that would be an issue. The issue is the fundamental first step. So if you follow how any country, you got to keep in mind, we're talking 16th century kind of framework of how governments work, right? Monarchs. So you guys really, at the end of the day, not only have to declare independence from Canada, you have to actually go against the Brits, the Redcoats, right? That's the real objective. You have to declare complete sovereignty, your state or whatever your country, which Canada itself has never done. So if you declare independence from Canada, you're just going to be a part of a country, so to speak, declaring its independence from a chartered government, which is not a real sovereign. Canada is not a true sovereign country. It is not. It's not. Canada never offset the yoke of the British. So how to do that? You have to take a step further. It has to go to the primary source, which is where the source of the charter comes from. And that's a fundamental difference between Canada's understanding of natural rights and nature's laws, right? Is we get all of our inherent rights from God. We're ordained by God with our rights to create government. And that's
Right.
how we offset the British, right? With their
Yeah.
with their nonsense. Let's be real. So I think the fundamental first step is obviously taking that first step and declaring that independence. Without it, you have to take the sovereignty from its source. Without sovereignty, it's nothing, right?
Yeah. Well, that in itself is, there are also, other globalist, entities that, could say, hey, you guys are, an absolute country, but I understand what you're saying, that there's that tie to Britain. But, Canada broke ties to a certain degree, and you're right, exactly what those, conditions are between Britain and Canada, I'm not really aware of. But, Canada did become independent from Britain. We became our own country. For example, some of the treaties with the natives were originally written with the British. And when Canada became an independent country, then those treaties were transferred over from Britain to Canada. So, we are somewhat independent, but yeah, there's ties to Britain still, and I don't know exactly what those ties are, but there's definitely a lot of things that have to be gone through here before the whole thing becomes completely permanent. That's for sure.
Yeah, and if you go back, so in 1982, when Canada allegedly got its, sovereignty, which they didn't, I'm of the opinion they didn't. It's called a patriation, right? So patriation is just another type of royal decree that's given to a charter. So a charter is almost like a company or government per se that's given certain legal status, right? That has not been
Yeah.
dissolved. The political infringement of the charter that originally created Canada in 1867, which is now you guys' Constitution Act, and later in 1982, the Constitution Act that amended it slightly. Actually, it just was an amendment. The charter was never dissolved. So the sovereign is not Canada. Canada is not sovereign. It's a quasi-sovereign organization at the behest of a royal decree. It's called patriation. And a lot of people don't study Blackstone and a lot of this, what they call common law. They're clueless to it, especially Americans. We kind of are too. But a lot of our constitutional law comes in premised on those fundamental understandings. And that's where I get back to the sovereign. Canada is not sovereign. So let's say Alberta, in hypothetical, decided it wanted to be sovereign, right, and make a government. Going to Canada and doing that is the wrong vehicle. So that's why I think there's probably not a lot of pushback, because the Brits are sitting there like, go ahead and declare yourself sovereign from Canada. You therefore still are under the umbrella, we'll call it, of the sovereign in the United, the British.
Yeah, I know.
So
and we see
Canada
that
does not
because,
have a sovereignty to take.
yeah, even though Canada's sovereign or supposedly independent country from the UK, from Britain, we still see Mark Carney running over to the King of England and trying to make deals with him. And even when he became the Prime Minister of Canada, he got the King to come over here to kind of bless him, with that role. So yeah, there's still a lot of hoops to jump through. You're absolutely right, and it goes back many, many years. So we'll see what happens. But it has to start somewhere with what we're trying to do here in Alberta. This is just a stepping stone, a start to the whole process. And whether or not we're going to get 51% of the people in that vote in Alberta are going to vote for independence is yet to be seen. We know that we've got 300,000 people signed a petition to for it to go to, it was a plebiscite to put it on the voters list here in October the 19th is when we're actually going to vote. But that being said, the Premier of Alberta has not actually said, are you going to vote to separate from Canada or stay in Canada? But we're going to actually vote to have a vote to whether or not we want to stay in Confederation. So, it's a shit show, absolute shit show up here.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. And the other part too, if you go back to the original 1870 or 1867, what you guys call the Constitution Act, it was the appointment of the king of what was called, I believe, the general. I forget the title. My mind's kind of going blank. But either way, he is the highest guy, which basically, when your parliament in Canada does any type of act, the House of Lords, whatever it's called there, the Commons, House of Commons, whatever it is, it has to go through this gentleman, the general, I forget the name, whatever, there's a name to it. Either way, it has to go through him, and it has to get what's called a royal assent, which basically, at the end of the day, he reports to the king, well, then the queen, then now a king again, and it has to get a royal assent. Without the royal assent, no parliamentary acts in Canada can be passed. That has not been absolved. That whole fundamental process that's done a lot of the time behind closed doors, Canadians typically aren't even aware of what's going on truly in their own government. Yeah, you might be able to elect your people into the parliament and all this stuff, but that's all.
You're talking about the Governor General as the person that basically,
there we go.
Speaks to over to the UK. It's sort of like the top of our system, appointed.
That is the most powerful person in the whole order, the political order there, right? And we don't ever really talk about that gentleman or person, right? They basically get the king's approval. And this goes back before the time of telecommunication, stuff of that nature, right? Almost like a diplomat, right? But he's basically the right-hand man of the king. And it's been that way for a long time. So the British have done this and administered charters for hundreds and hundreds of years. And you got to give it to them. They're really good at administering quasi-sovereigns. And what a quasi-sovereign is, it's just an extension of the king's power to keep their power. So Canada, I really wish you guys as a whole, as a country,
we're screwed.
Or even
Alberta, I'm not you have to almost be a constitutional lawyer to understand all of the different intertwinings and the things that happen with our system here. But you are right in what you're saying. I agree with you. Okay, well I'll let you go. Thanks a lot for phoning in. You're my number one first caller on the Tommy Temper show here, so I really appreciate that. For me, this was more of a test of my phone system than a test of our Constitution. But I agree with what you're talking about, and we're in a bit of trouble here, and we have a lot of hoops to jump through before Alberta can actually become independent.
Well, we're all pulling for you. Thank you for your time, brother.
Okay, thanks a lot. Okay, take care. Take care. Okay, that was anonymous caller number 1. That was Unfiltered. I think it was Unfiltered was his name there. Thanks a lot for phoning in. Well, that worked out pretty well. The only other thing I'm worried about with the phone system here is when I'm actually talking to a caller, I wonder if somebody else calls in, whether or not we hear like a beep, that busy beep that comes in on your phone line. We'll have to see whether or not that happens here when I get using this system a little bit more. Excuse me for the hiccups here. Yeah, what's the latest that's happening with Alberta independence? Some of what's happening here, we've got this whole big thing here. Up your cornhole. Yeah, we've got this sign that has been put up. Let me just get to. Oh, actually, that is the larger sign here. Up your cornhole. Yeah, exactly. So apparently, this is what's happening. This sign, which is an Alberta Independence sign, was put up in Taber, Alberta, by a company, and the sign is actually on Taber municipal property. And the lefties, how the lefties are, they go berserk. They're trying to cancel culture you and shit like that. Well, basically, they went to the mayor of Taber and the city council, and they complained to them, and they said, "Well, what's this sign doing on, for Alberta independence? We don't like it, and it's on, Taber, the municipality of Taber's land, and what's this thing even doing on there?" So they approached the mayor of Taber and the city council, and apparently they approved the billboard, and now the lefties are going berserk, saying, well, I will no longer be buying corn from British Columbia, or I'll be buying corn from British Columbia vendors this summer. And they don't, because Taber is really big for their corn, right? Taber corn is really known like all over Alberta here. When you see corn come to the store or whatever, it's usually Taber corn is now in season, buy the corn. So people are saying they're not going to buy Taber corn because the mayor approved this billboard, but I'm not sure if they actually approved the billboard or not. But I do know that this is actually almost like a political sign. It's by an organization, CoreyMorgan.com. You can see that on there. And Corey Morgan is pissed off because there's kind of a thing going on with the city council there, and I'm not sure if they're going to take the sign down or if it's actually been approved. Apparently, from what I see, the lefties here today are pissed off that it has been approved, because now they're saying they're not going to buy Taber corn. So, yeah, and they've got that thing, as you can say, up your cornhole. I don't know who Prokop is there, but it's probably the mayor of Taber or something like that. So, yeah, we got that kind of bullshit going on there in Alberta. Yeah, we've got this one coming out here about Smith here. Smith won't cancel the MOU because you've got this memorandum of understanding going on between Alberta here and the federal government. And this MOU is all about us bringing in a whole bunch of carbon taxes and building a $2 billion plant to suck carbon out of the atmosphere and pump it underground. This is part of this memorandum of understanding. And only if we do a bunch of stuff like that, increase our carbon taxes to the commercial so-called polluters, then Ottawa might think of building a pipeline to the West Coast so that we can send more oil to the West Coast and ship it around the world, ship it to China, ship it to India, ship it whoever needs our oil, because we're sitting on a piss pot a load of oil here in Alberta. And it's not going anywhere, well, except to the States. We're shipping about 4 million barrels a day to the United States at the moment. We've got this another pipeline that has just been agreed to and signed off by Trump to increase that to another million, maybe another 500,000 or million barrels. So that will bring it up to 4.5, 5 million barrels a day to the United States. But still, we're not sending oil out, or not very much oil, I should say, out to any tankers out to the west coast of Canada, and we would dearly love to be able to do more of that. That's for sure. Hey, yeah, test that phone line there. If anyone wants to phone in, come on, phone into the show here. You can be our phone-in guest here if you want for a little bit. We'll kind of limit phone-in calls to a couple of minutes, that sort of thing. Ask a couple of questions or make a couple of points. But definitely phone in. Call that number, 1-780-652-2880. Or sorry, 2889. I don't even know my own phone number here yet. I just acquired that phone number just minutes before going live here. So this is sort of giving me a chance to test it out. And obviously it does work because we got a phone call coming in here and it did actually work. So this will be great to have this number on here and have people be able to phone in. Of course, you know, there's going to be that troll that's going to phone in here and try and spam us or say some bad words or stuff like that, try and get us thrown off of the air or something here. We got this one here. This is how CBC, you know, we have this CBC television down here, and CBC radio, and you guys know you have the murder of Henry Nowak in the UK, and how you know, the people said, oh well, he said something racist, so even though he was stabbed, they put handcuffs on him, and apparently he died with handcuffs on. But the CBC in Canada is saying how Britain's far right hijacked the murder of Henry Nowak. How did the far right, and what do you mean far right? I wouldn't call the average citizen in the UK far right. Like, they're not far right. Those are just, you know, they probably are right-wing people, but it's just like the CBC, who is like extreme lefty, who is like a really extreme far left CBC, which is our Canadian broadcaster. Shame on you, CBC, for insinuating that the average person that is pissed off with what's going on in Britain is calling those people that are protesting the murder of Henry Nowak as being far right. Like, shame on you, CBC, for doing that. As a matter of fact, even Donald Trump came out today telling the UK that, hey, you guys had better do something about your you know, what's going on there, the way you're treating people unfairly, right? There's like in fact, he said, you got to stop with this two-tiered justice or two-tiered policing system. That's what it was, two-tiered policing system in the UK, where, you know, if somebody shouts out, oh, he said something racist, then all of a sudden you throw handcuffs on that guy and, you know, are trying to find some rule or some hate speech thing to put out against him. Oh, hang on here. What do we get? I think we had a quick phone call coming in there. Oh, we got mail coming in here. Let's see. Oh, that was an iMessage or something there that came in there from son number 1, who's going out somewhere there. I'm not sure where he's going. But if you have a phone call, hit that phone call line there. Call into the show here. Say hi. If you're a long-time follower or sub to the channel or wherever you're watching from, definitely give us a phone call here today. Hit that phone line and at least say, hey, it's Real Red Mama, and yeah, I'm phoning in. Nice to see you. Thanks a lot for going live, that sort of thing. I don't know what's going to happen here today. You know, it's a terrible day. I'm looking at the weather conditions here, and they are just terrible. It's like severe thunderstorm warning coming in here right now. Let me just swap over to my other camera here. And to me, it looks like it's actually raining out there. You can see the water bird feed or whatever outside there is rustling a little bit there. I don't know if it's getting a little bit of rain coming down there yet, but definitely the wind has picked up. The sun has gone away, and it's not looking like a great day out there. We have had some really inclement weather here over the past week or so, and lots of rain, tons and tons of rain. And we're still, hey, we've got some sort of a big thing that's circling around offshore there, off the west coast of Canada and the United States. It's kind of circling around, so we're getting some wet weather, some moisture in the air, and big storm coming our way here. So right now it's about 20 degrees Celsius. And if I turn on the weather radar here and take a look at it, it is looking like we are getting some rain, stormy type weather coming our way here. Oh, yeah, it's looking terrible. I don't know if I can bring this on here. Hang on a second. And I will actually bring this weather chart on here. Oh, hang on. Let me go double click this here. And no, I don't want that. I want a browser window capture is what I want. Okay, hang on. This is it. Window capture. Okay. Where is Alberta weather? Stand by for weather. Is it this one here? No, it's not that one. No. Here it is here. Okay. Yeah. This is the one. We'll go with that one. Bring it up here. And you can see here's the weather map here right now. And I'm kind of right in the middle of that whole thing. And you can see it appears that the bad weather is coming our way here. Hang on. Oh, hang on. How can I change that so that it will actually go in motion here? Here we are. Okay. Let me bring it back down again here. There we go. And there you can see I am located right about here in the map, right here, where you can see the little mouse in there. And over time, you can see right about now, right at the end of this little graphic here, is where we're at right now. So you can see I'm looking out my window and I'm seeing all those black clouds out there. And yeah, they're all coming from the west towards the east, towards us. And they're coming over the mountains. All this crap. This is so much moisture in the clouds that it has actually come over the mountains. And usually we don't get too much moisture over here because most of the rainfall, rises up over the mountains and that moisture drops in the mountainous areas. But you can see how much of it is still left in the atmosphere, and it's definitely coming our way. So holy smoly, it's not looking good. And outside, like I said, the wind is picking up, and yeah, it's looking a little bit rough out there. So I don't know. Do I hop in the car here in a half an hour and head down to Sylvan Lake? Yeah, we're starting to see rain up here, right here. You can see some raindrops on the window there behind me. And I'm pretty sure what we just heard is thunder. I think I saw lightning in the sky there. It's lightning here right now. So it's, wow, it's a little bit weird out there right now. Edward, yeah, God is not corrupt. Yeah, exactly. God is not corrupt. Unfiltered in there. Thanks a lot, Unfiltered. Yeah, the Pope is not God's voice. Blasphemy. I see that. Okay, Unfiltered from Mr. Bill's live there. Yeah, okay, we gotcha. Yeah, I should go over to Mr. Bill's again there more often. I know he's live there quite a bit. And Mr. Bill is actually a pretty good streamer doing a lot of that Antifa stuff from Portland area and does a good job. In fact, I like it that he has panel shows and stuff like that and get some people on there. He has given me his StreamYard link, behind the scenes over on X, and then I become on his panel over there. Yeah, it's definitely raining out there because I can see this. There's the street right behind me. There is the street, and it's kind of hard to tell on that camera, but it is wet out there. It is all wet. It is rainy, and all this big storm that's coming our way here still hasn't dumped a lot of the water yet, but you can see right in the middle that big green area is coming my direction here. So the wind is definitely picking up, and the leaves are starting to blow a little bit harder here. In fact, if I was to turn my camera, let me turn my camera up a bit here. Okay, yeah. If I turn my camera up there a bit, you can get a better view of the trees and the what's happening in the trees over there. Definitely, the wind is blowing, and it is starting to increase a little bit here. Might even catch a lightning bolt or something behind me here. But yeah, I just wanted to do a little quick stream here. We'll be on for another half hour or so. You might hear some thunder or something in the background. Yeah, I'm hearing a bit of rumbling happening. There's some other stuff going on here too. In Alberta, we've got the natives are going a little bit berserk, you might say, because they don't like the fact that we want independence here in Alberta. And I've got this story here. Breaking news, Treaty 8 leaders threaten highway blockades to stop an Alberta referendum. Ironically, Jason Kenney's Bill 1 already made blocking critical infrastructure illegal. Yeah, he brought in a bill in Alberta here to make blocking roads in Alberta illegal, and some pretty big fines for doing that. But the natives are talking about threatening blocking our highways here. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see whether or not that actually happens. And they did block the train. They blocked the railways here in Alberta a few years back. And because they did that, the trains weren't able to pass, and all of the shipments on the coast of British Columbia were stopped from going across Canada. You can see the water is now hitting my window behind me, and you can see the drops going across there. So yeah, we're getting some pretty major rain happening there right now, and the wind is definitely picking up out there. So it is looking terrible-ish out there. Not great whatsoever. But yeah, that's one of the latest stories here, is that the First Nations chiefs are threatening to block our highways here, which is absolutely illegal to do that because they don't want independence here. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. Give us a like on the channel. Give us a thumbs up. Actually, I didn't even give the stream a thumbs up here, so let me do that. And hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. I seem to be losing subscribers here lately. So if you're just sitting there watching and you don't know anything about what's going on here, but you just kind of found my channel and you're wanting to know, hey, what's going on there in Alberta, hit that subscribe button so that you'll and turn the bell on, notification bell, so that you'll find out when we go live. If I do go live, if I'm going down to Sylvan Lake today, I should actually. Oh, there's a big lightning. Saw the lightning strike there. Oh yeah, I'm hearing that thunder, and the rain is really starting to come down now. It is really coming down. It is looking, wow, crazy out there. Hang on. Let me change this camera view over here. Hang on. Yeah, you can see out the window there that the rain has picked up. We're getting a lot of rain falling in that in the bird bath outside there. Lots of rain on my window here. Camera's having a tough time focusing out the window there. And the road is completely wet out there now. Yeah, so should I take the storm and head south to Sylvan Lake and go live in the mobile? That's a possibility that we might end up doing that. But otherwise, let me just go through a couple of things that I found on one of the X things here. You've got the people that are against Alberta independence. They're like anti-Alberta independence, and they're doing their thing in this thing here. They've got it. To me, it looks like a blood donor clinic here, a blood donor clinic van. But this is the Forever Canadian group. The Forever Canadian group is campaigning illegally, they're saying here. Oh no, they're openly breaking election third-party advertising and finance law. So we've got this thing. Somebody is filing complaints against Lakuziak and his blood donor clinic van here that wants Alberta to stay in Confederation. Look at his thing there. Yeah, that's pretty funny. But yeah, if he's doing stuff illegally, that's not very good. So yeah, definitely we want to have people do something about that. That's for sure. Oh yeah, and people are talking about this too. This is the Alberta has come up with this new thing, right, where they're now combining driver's licenses with your citizens, proof of citizenship, and with your healthcare number. So let's listen to this story here.
Alberta, we're finally getting rid of these.
That's right. Instead of carrying a driver's license, paper healthcare card, passport, or birth certificate to prove citizenship, all that information will now be on your driver's license or Alberta ID card.
One card, that's it. And we're doing it at no extra cost because Albertans shouldn't have to pay more for something that just makes sense.
Other provinces have already moved away.
Hang on. She said no extra cost. In other words, extra meaning there is a cost to get your driver's license. You have to pay to get your driver's license. But are they trying to say, like right now, if I wanted to get that card, because the way it works here is you have to renew your driver's license. I don't know if it's every 4 or every 5 years, whatever. And you have to pay to get a new driver's license. So right now, if I wanted to get that card, okay, starting July 2nd is when this whole thing starts. On July 2nd, if I went in and said, okay, I want to get this new card because I want, quote, digital ID. And of course, a lot of people don't like digital ID. A lot of people are like against this card, this digital ID card. But, I don't know if it's a nefarious type of a thing or if they're going to be tracking what you do, driving down the road or with healthcare or with other stuff like that. I don't know, but they're combining in Alberta your citizenship, whether or not you are, I don't know if it's a proof of citizenship. Was that a citizen of Canada or a citizen of Alberta? Not sure what they mean by citizenship, and your healthcare number and your driver's license all in one card. And some people are screaming, whoa, this is digital ID. This is akin to digital ID, and I'm totally against that. There's no hope in hell that I'm going to do that.
Away from paper healthcare cards, and countries like Finland, Italy, and Brazil already include citizenship markers on ID. This is about making everyday life simpler and making government services easier to access when you need them.
It's a practical change that saves time and makes life easier.
So are we tossing these into the shredder?
Whoa, we better go to the registry and get our new cards first, Al.
Oh, yeah. Go and get your new digital ID, as soon as you can, because... yeah, the more that the government can track you, the better. Myself, I'm like, I don't really do things that are wrong or that are bad. You know what I mean? I don't try and steal from the government. I pay all my taxes. I don't do shit under the table. I don't hire people to, build a deck and try and pay them under the table or whatever. You know what I mean? I try and be a good citizen. And the reason for that is because I really don't want to have to go to jail. I don't want to have to deal with the court system. I just want to be above board with everything that I do. So personally, I'm not negative towards, a digital ID, and I don't really consider this to be digital ID. I consider it to be more of not having to carry so many pieces of paper in your pocket. In other words, I don't have to have a passport to prove who I am in Canada. I don't have to carry my birth certificate in my wallet, for proof of that I was born in Canada. I don't have to carry my if it's a driver's license, yeah, I have to carry my driver's license. But now, for example, my healthcare, the people, when you walk into, let's say a clinic or something like that to get some medical help or medical services, the first thing they ask you is, let me see your healthcare card, right? And now you don't have to have a bunch of different cards. You just have one card, which is your driver's license, which is your healthcare card, which is your citizenship card. So it is all in one on one card. So I think, will prevent fraud, because there's an awful lot of fraud in our healthcare system here, where there's people that aren't even really true Canadians that end up using our healthcare system because they go and get a fake healthcare card, some guy that's dead or something like that or whatever, because all it is a card with your name and number. Your healthcare card doesn't even have your picture on it. You know what I mean? And there are tons and tons and tons of people that are illegal are using our healthcare system because they're maybe you've got these people that come to Canada under these temporary foreign worker programs, and then when it's over, they never do leave Canada, so they're still living, or they never do leave Canada, so they're still living in Canada, and they're using our services and stuff like that, and they've got like a fake social insurance number. I wonder, they forgot about social insurance number. Why didn't they put that on that card too? Like get it all on one card or something. No, they left that one out. But citizenship, I'm not sure what they mean by citizenship, because I don't know that I actually have a citizenship card. I have a birth certificate card, but I don't have a citizenship card because I was born here in Canada. I'm not as other people might say, some kind of a settler or a or a colonial. I'm not a colonialist, or a colonizer. Because to be a colonizer, you have to be somebody that came from another country and you colonized this country. But I was born here in Canada. But anyways, that's one of the latest things that's happening here in Alberta. Hey, maybe that'll make it easier for Alberta to separate because, we'll have everything all in that one card. People will know who you are. They'll know that you're part of our healthcare system. It'll make it easier for that kind of stuff to actually happen. So there you go. Yeah. They got a Donald Trump on here. This is actually an old one here. So I won't go through that one there at all. Oh, here, we got this one here. Canadians are breaking down on camera. Oh no, Canadians are crying on camera. It's truly sad that social media is now flooded with regular people falling apart, just like this guy. This guy and his wife pull in 6 figures a year. They're the lower upper class. They just left the grocery store. He just left the grocery store, this guy, and he's sitting in his truck, and he's emotional. How are people making $60,000, $70,000, even $80,000 a year effing surviving in Canada right now? He's struggling to pay his groceries, $5 for broccoli, strawberries that rot in 3 days. Something's got to change. This isn't sustainable for anybody. These aren't the poor. Yeah, and there's probably like $6 for some strawberries. Same thing with bananas or anything up here. Celery, $5 for celery. These are the people who are supposed to be doing okay, right? The people that are almost earning $100,000 a year. Liberalism did this. The cost of living crisis they created, the inflation they ignored, the policies that crushed productivity and drove prices through the roof. This is the result. While they lecture us about climate and equity and net zero and carbon capture and bullshit like that, real Canadians are in their cars after grocery shopping, breaking down. They would spend $2 billion on capturing some carbon out of the air and pumping it into the ground. What kind of nonsense is going on here? Why not just plant some trees? Isn't that exactly what trees do? They capture carbon and then put it down into the ground with their root system. Come on. And their leaves when they fall on the ground, whatever. That's all carbon. This is what a recession looks like. Yeah. And what kind of recession? Like Carney is trying to make it look like, oh, it's just a technical recession that Canada is going into. It's a technical recession. No, it's a frickin' recession. It's a recession. Quit trying to, Carney is like the master of bullshit, It's like whatever something is, he tries to call it something else. So for example, when you spend money, when you blow money on your different programs and stuff like that, you call it investing money. No, that's not investing money. It is blowing money. It is spending money. It is borrowing money. It is printing money. And it is sucking money. It is increasing taxes and sucking money out of people like me, right? The little guy. If you're feeling this too, yeah, and also the high prices of everything, you're not weak. You're awake. Drop your breaking point below, whatever. Yeah, give us a little shout out there down below if you're watching this, and say hello in the comments section and let us know what you think about what's happening in Canada. Let's listen to this guy here. He's the guy that's making, him and his wife, 80 grand a year, and let's hear what he has to say.
I just came out of the grocery store and I'm just thinking, how are people who are making like $60,000, $70,000, even $80,000 a year fucking surviving in Canada right now? Like, I make decent money. Like, you know, I pull in 6 figures, and like, I'm struggling to be able to pay for fucking groceries. Between me and my wife, we pull in like good money. You know, we're considered lower upper class. And it's like struggle. We rent. Yeah, we have some student loan debt, stuff like that. But Jesus Christ, $5 for fucking broccoli? Like, what the fuck is going on? $5 for a bushel of strawberries that are going to rot in fucking 3 days?
Mhm.
Man, I don't know, man. You people out there who are making $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year, you are the true heroes right now, because I don't know.
I'm telling you, I went to the cafe, a little cafe, right, in Sylvan Lake that bakes its own bread and makes its own sandwiches, for the 3 of us to get sandwiches and something to drink. We ended up paying $60. $60 for a sandwich and a drink for 3 people. Come on. What the hell is going on?
Not be doing well, and my heart goes out to you. And I don't know, something's got to change in Canada at some point, because I don't see how this is sustainable for anybody.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I would have to agree 100% that it is terrible. It is horrible. We have, you know what? Fast food restaurants are going broke because they have had to increase their prices so much because of the high cost of their supplies, their food, and people aren't able to afford it anymore. They aren't able to go out as much as before. So restaurants are hard done by. Grocery stores are not making that much money because people aren't buying as much anymore. People are actually going to places like the dollar store. And, you know, here's one thing that do some research. If you are buying your stuff from the dollar store, you're actually spending more than if you're to go to a regular grocery store. And the reason for that is because the stuff in the dollar store is cheaper in the sense that you're paying less money, but the quantity of the product that you're getting is actually miniaturized. So, example, you're spending less for a chocolate bar, but it's a smaller chocolate bar. You're spending less for a box of cereal, but it's a smaller box of cereal. And actually, when you look at, if you were to buy that same box of cereal in a regular grocery store, you're paying a little bit more for it, but you're getting much more for your dollar at a regular grocery store. So don't think that you're going to go and save money by going to a dollar store. You're not. You're buying shit there that is like a lot smaller. Your quantity is smaller. Yeah, you're paying a little bit less money, but the amount you're paying for what you're getting is actually more. Hit that subscribe button. Hey, if you're just brand new and just watching, and if you're a couch potato out there just watching what's going on, we need Alberta independence. I am pro Alberta independence. And yeah, if anybody wants to call in, we've got a new call-in phone number. We want to test it out here. I actually went live to test out our call-in phone number. Thanks a lot for being our first call-in unfiltered there from Mr. Bill's channel. First one to actually dial that number and call in here and talk a little bit about what's going on here. But if you have anything that you'd like to chat about, this is this is our first time using the phone number here for call-in people. So we want to test it out and make sure it's working well. I want to find out if somebody is actually talking to me on this phone line. What happens when somebody else phones in? Do I hear that me, or whatever in the background while I'm talking when somebody else phones in? or is it silent? And just whatever, the guy sits on hold or something in the background. It's not a real phone system like you'd have on a real radio show where people phone in and then you can put them on hold, you know. This is just a single truth unfiltered. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we got ABD in there. Good to see everyone in there. We got Edward Cam in there. Unfiltered. There, I see you in there in the chat. Looking good. Talking about the Pope and blasphemy. Yeah, exactly. I know what you mean. Okay, what else? What else we have here? Yeah, we got Bob. Except a lot of the Canadian people are too weak to fight against it. At least in the UK, they have Tommy Robinson and his crew who are building a strong resistance. Well, yeah, I think that what he's talking about is the mass immigration, and we actually have a huge mass immigration problem here in Canada where in the past we brought in far, far, far too many immigrants, which are kind of, they have absolutely changed the fabric of our country here. And, you go to the Costco store or go shopping or go anywhere, and you're going to see just a ton of people that were not born here in Canada, and they don't look like me, and they don't talk like me. They don't even speak English most of the time. Like I said, you guys have heard this story before. I went to the Costco store, and I actually did a count, and you have families. Families show up there, and it's a lot of families. So you see a group of a whole bunch of people around the shopping cart. They're all speaking some foreign language, okay? And I did a count. This guy's foreign, this guy's foreign, this guy's foreign, this guy. And it was 9 out of 10 people were not even speaking English, were groups of families that came from other countries. And then I ran across one shopper that was speaking English. Like, that's how bad it is getting out here. I feel like that I have traveled over to I don't know, East India or the Middle East or some place like that, and I'm like the odd man out in my own frickin' country. That's how bad it has actually gotten here in Canada. And yeah, it has already gotten to the point where it's a changed country. They've already brought in way too many people to where we don't feel like real Canadians anymore. And it's this kind of bullshit that is like causing Alberta to want to separate. We're sick and tired of this stuff here. Absolutely sick and tired. Let me see here. Let me pull this one here. Alberta's economy. Hey, we're a powerful economy here, and we're so powerful. It single-handedly holds up the Canadian dollar, and Canada is absolutely afraid of Alberta separating from Canada. They are just they're doing everything possible to keep us from separating. They're coming up with all kind of rhetoric like, oh, you're not going to have a Canadian passport. Oh, you're not going to have a pension plan. You're not going to have this. You're not going to have that. You're not going to have the RCMP. Who's going to do your policing? Because we have, policing in the major cities like Edmonton City Police, Calgary City Police. But in other rural areas, it's the RCMP that are paid to do that policing. In a lot of cases, what we do is, as a province, we send a ton of money to Ottawa. They blow all that money with all of the bureaucrats in Ottawa, and they send us a little bit in resources, right? For example, how much do we pay for RCMP compared to what we actually get? How much do we pay for our pension plan in reference to what we get? They invest our pension plan money into woke crap, net zero bullshit, and all kind of stuff like that doesn't make a lot of money. And at the end of the day, they're going, oh, we have to import more people to keep our GDP up in Canada. Yeah, our GDP is only up because of all the people that they've imported into the country. That's what they're doing. The federal government is doing such a crappy job of running the country that we're running like down all the time. And so you're bringing in more people in here thinking that more workers, and of course the people that you're bringing in are like very, very low level workers that can work at a Tim Hortons store or something like that. But they're not the people that are getting jobs in the oil industry, engineers, doctors, nurses, and people like that. That's not who those people are. They're like temporary foreign workers and stuff like that are taking on 7-Eleven jobs and that kind of stuff. That's what's actually going on here in Canada. It's sad. It's absolutely sad what's going on here. And CW4, we've got, I've been saying for some time that Albertans need a Dr. No in the finance position, and that Horner has to be replaced. That didn't happen until now. We've exploded budgets, deficits, and more debt. Now, instead of Dr. No, we have a Dr. No idea how to fix it. So, we've got this little meme that I just found over on the Facebook here, or on the X, I should say. Yeah, and it's all about Alberta money here too. Look at the bottom of this here. You can see the money bag there. Do you see that money bag? That's Alberta's money there at the bottom there. And they're taking all of our money and they're using it on carbon tax increases, equalization, national energy policies. They're using it on more regulation, Ottawa first. They're using all of our money for all of the things that they're running Canada on, and we're getting very little of that money back here to the province of Alberta. And we're sick and tired of it. We're absolutely sick and tired of it. We need better for us here in Canada. The storm is really going gung-ho outside there. You can see the window is being pelted with rain. The bird bath is completely full. In fact, that bird bath was about 3 inches down, and it's gained about 3 inches of water. We've got about 3 inches of rain here in the last week or so, and it is still raining out there. Oh, my. And the birds, of course, they're hiding somewhere. I saw one just fly by there, but they're scared. The storm is really brewing out there. The wind is popped up, and it is looking terrible out there. I'm seeing lightning bolts hitting us across here. My other camera, I have a panoramic camera out there, and half of it is looking perfect, and the other half of it is blurred out. So that's kind of funny to see that. We're getting so much rain that is coming down outside. Well, definitely my grass is going to be growing a little bit outside, but short of that, we're getting maybe a little bit too much rain out there. It is really bombing us here. Yeah. So many people are mad at Trump. Here's a good one here. Yeah, they're mad at Trump, but you know what? Don't be mad at Trump. Like, that's not the way to go. Here it is right here. So many people are mad at Trump. Oh my God. Oh my God. They're so mad at Trump. But the last time I checked, his country, the United States of America is not in a recession, right? Like, even though Trump came up with all these tariffs and stuff like that, the United States is not in recession. You're not like negative GDP for 2 quarters in a row would put you into a recession. Elbows up in Canada. Elbows up, everyone. Let's just keep those elbows up here in Canada, and of course, elbows up is the code for the liberals out there. It's like, vote liberal, elbows up. Yeah. And actually the term elbows up is like in a hockey game, you stick your elbow up like this in order to jab somebody in the head as you're skating by him or skating into him. It's actually a terrible thing to do in a hockey game. But yet the liberals are like all gung-ho and elbows up. Yeah, vote for the liberals. Yeah, you guys are a bunch of idiots out there. No elbows up. We don't need any elbows up at all. With the Southampton thing, we'll go over to this story here. We had a British actor, Lawrence Fox, is in Southampton doing his thing, and let's listen to what he has to say about this whole thing over there.
I was going to say, what's the main reason you're out here today? What should we do about all of this?
Because it's the most disgusting thing I've ever witnessed in the world. If this was a young black man, the whole country would be on fire. There'd be McPherson reports. There'd be independent inquiries. Those people in there are your enemy. They're not your friend.
I was going to say, what's the main reason you're out here today?
Wow. And that's with regards to the young man, the teenager that was stabbed over in the UK, and there's protests going on. I don't know if there's protests going on there today. There might very well be. It's sort of gotten into be the nighttime over there. So right at the moment, but when it's nighttime over here in North America, that's when you can pick up those feeds coming in from the UK. UK Sploosh and some other streamers like that are pretty good for that. And yeah, we like watching that and keeping up to date on what's happening with what's going on over there. Here's some of the video from June the 2nd is when this was posted here. So you can see there's a bit of shenaniganery going on over in the UK with what's going on there. People are fighting, people are getting agitated, all kind of stuff going on there. And not good, but on the other hand, people are pissed off. People are really pissed off. It's like, you know, you guys have done the mass immigration thing over there in the UK, and you can see how it's affecting you guys, and people are really coming to a wit's end. And it's happened. It has happened over here in Canada as well. We have, you know, had the mass immigration happening here, but it's not like people are going too berserk yet. There are people that are doing stuff like you have home invasions happening, and you know, lots of thefts and car thefts and stuff like that, but they're not really stabbing people out in the streets like they are in the UK. I know that there was a case of somebody that died in Canada, a youngster died in Canada because of the mass immigration, but over here we're not as likely to do stuff about it, you know, i.e., you know, go out and protest and whatever. We're like more of a pacifist type of a country here. It seems like the people that really protest here in Canada are people like the Palestinians and the Palestinians, you know, the people that come in from India and from other Arabic countries. They come to our country and then they protest in our country, you know, about what's going on in their country. Or like our Iranians, for example. You'll have the Persian Iranians that protest over here, you know, trying to get rid of the Islamic regime that took over Iran in the 70s and 80s there, 40 years ago, and are basically oppressing the people over there. So, yeah. Over here, this is the problem with what's going on here in Canada, okay? Look at this map here. Here is where most of the people in the red are where most of the people live in Canada, okay? Do you see that? Most of the people in Canada live in the red. So when they vote over there, when they have a vote across the country for whether people want to vote Liberal or conservative, Liberal being like Democrats, conservative being like the Republicans. You can see the red are the Liberals here, and that is Eastern Canada. And when the votes, when the polls are closed in Eastern Canada, they've already decided that they want Liberals to run the country. So us little conservatives out here, where you can see the blue out west here, which is in Alberta, even though we all vote conservative over here, it doesn't matter, because it doesn't affect the vote whatsoever. And that's why we're pissed off. We're so pissed off that we have no control whatsoever with what happens here in Canada. They suck the money out of us like crazy. We can't do a damn thing about it. And all we can do is go, okay, let's vote to secede, to separate from Canada. This is like a really good representation of what's going on here in Canada. And we're sick and tired of it already. Absolutely sick and tired of it. 70% of Canada's population lives in the colored areas that we just showed you there. That's Quebec over in the east. Well, you couldn't see here. If you look really, really close on the west coast of Canada, you can see a little bit where you've got people that live in Vancouver. But basically Quebec, Windsor corridor, the Vancouver area, and the Calgary, Edmonton area. That's where most of the people live in Canada, right there. And everywhere else is very, very sparsely populated in Canada. Interesting how that is, but that is true, and that's the reason that we're pissed off. Recession, recession plan has been announced. Oh, has it now? Has it now? Yeah. Let's hear from Carney about our so-called recession. And remember, Carney likes to butter up words. In other words, he refuses to say that we're actually in a recession. He actually calls it a technical recession.
Now, it's not just what we build, it's also how we build. We build across this country inclusively, in full partnership with First Nations, Inuit, and Métis. We build in solidarity with workers, creating good union jobs. We build sustainably, because reducing emissions is not just a moral duty.
Oh, remember, when you're building, you have to go union. B, you have to bring the natives into the whole thing. You have to actually talk about that every time you open your mouth. And C, you have to talk about net zero, about the climate. Oh, the climate is changing, and we have to, pump CO2 into the ground. We have to have carbon sequestering. We have to have carbon credit system set up, of which Brookfield profits from. We have to have net zero, which Brookfield profits from. We have to have a system set up which Brookfield profits from. Like, this guy is so corrupt, it's unbelievable.
Economic imperative. And above all, with our new Buy Canadian policy, we will build Canadian by becoming.
Buy Canadian policy. Instead of talking to the United States, instead of making a deal with Trump, instead of getting him to reduce the tariffs that are happening in Canada and talking to Trump, instead you're hiding. You're not talking to Trump, and you're going, well, we have to buy Canadian. Don't worry. Instead of selling products to the United States, just buy Canadian. We need to buy more things Canadian. Don't buy American, right? Well, he didn't actually say, he himself did not actually say don't buy American, but he has made Trump and the United States look like the bad guy for such a long time. Then other people like Doug Ford in Ontario have said, don't buy American. Here, we're going to dump bottles of whiskey on the ground, and we're not going to buy American liquor or whatever. We're going to keep it off our shelves. And still, even to this day, you cannot buy American booze in Ontario liquor stores. You know that? It's like, yeah, don't buy American stuff. Buy Canadian. Buy Mexican stuff. Buy South American stuff. Buy stuff from the UK. In fact, they're even wanting to buy this airplane from where is it? Norway or Sweden, and not buy an American airplane. Like, it's gone completely crazy to where he's really alienating the United States with damn near everything.
Best customer. So we're building from major projects to new community centers. And while we do so, some of this will take time. We're laying the foundations for a stronger, more resilient, more sustainable economy, a transformation that won't happen overnight. So our government is also giving Canadians a boost today and a bridge to tomorrow, with a relentless focus on bringing down their costs. That's why we temporarily suspended the federal fuel excise tax to save up to 10 cents until Labor Day. It's why we cut taxes for 22 million middle-class Canadians. It's why we introduced the new Canada Groceries and
1%
benefit.
that doesn't affect
nearly 3 million people in Quebec.
Medium and high wage earners
will be getting their first checks
for the
this
welfare
Friday,
state,
up to $533 for a family of 4.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? And even what he talked about there about saving money on groceries, that's only for the people that hardly make any money, for the low wage earners. Like, he's doing stuff for like the welfare society, but not for the average person in Canada or people that have a bit of money. Like the guy that we saw earlier on there that is earning $80,000 a year. He's not being helped at all by any of those so-called programs. But Carney likes to stand up in front of everyone and, puff out his chest and tout how the Liberals are doing such good things for Canadians, but not for the average Canadian, only for the low wage earner. It's so sad as to what's going on here in Canada. So sad, so sad. Not good whatsoever. Anyways, yeah, we're trying our best over here in Canada. in Alberta. And right now you've got this whole thing with the Kuzma agreement, and Donald Trump, is he scrapping Kuzma? Is that what's happening? Are you guys doing your thing there right now? Oh, hang on. Let me pull it up here a little bit here so you can read the words on there. Yeah, is Trump scrapping Kuzma? Are we negotiating it? Is it getting any better? Are we able to sell more stuff into the States, or are we making it worse? Trump just brought in a brand new thing there just the other day, making it a lot harder for people in other countries to do business with the United States. I don't know if you heard about that one. That one is a story that I have to go into detail over that whole thing. Canada does not have an economic problem. Canada has an economic emergency. Nearly 75% of our exports go to the United States. No trade deal is no growth. It's that simple. So, the states are going to be manufacturing more products within their own country, not buying products from Canada, and we're going to be having a lower GDP in Canada. We're going to be suffering because of what's going on, because we've been a failure at negotiating the Kuzma agreement, which is the agreement made between Canada and the States also has a similar agreement with Mexico, and it was called the Free Trade Agreement. Oh my, it's sad out there, what we're going through. Absolutely sad. Absolutely sad. And we're into a recession here now. Absolute recession. Let's hear what's going on here with this with the recession here in Canada. We've got this story here from coming in from Power Play, Vessi Capellos on CTV.
Despite the leader of the opposition, who seems to be celebrating, seems to be, cheering on, in his mind, bad news.
It's a huge political issue, and I love the way the word technical crab walked its way sideways and attached itself to the word recession. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm trying to find
exactly with what I was talking about a minute ago. Instead of just plain saying, look, Canada's in a recession, Carney has come out with, oh, it's a technical recession. Oh, what does that mean? Does it mean it's lesser of a recession than a normal recession? It's a bullshit terminology that Carney has come up with, and that's exactly what they're calling him out with on this show here.
Sideways and attached itself to the word recession. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm trying to find any textbook that gives a definition of a technical recession. Yes, officer, technically I was speeding, but it was only a few miles an hour above.
My wife is technically pregnant. Technically pregnant. She's not really pregnant. She's just technically pregnant. Yeah. Is that what you mean by technically?
Speed limit. A recession is a recession is a recession.
Take, for example, business investment. 5 consecutive quarters on the decline. A number of exports on the decline in successive quarters as well. Unemployment, more than 112,000 jobs lost just since the beginning of this year. And all of that, while your government and the Prime Minister says affordability has never been better. We're going to be the fastest growing economy in the G7. That has not materialized.
Not likely.
Statistics I cited at the start of this question have.
We will have an economy that will be the best in the G7. We will have an economy that's going to be resilient, and we will have an economy.
These guys are all liars, that? They're all liars. They take some talking points that somebody in their government gave them, and they're not really looking at the numbers. The numbers are what proves what's going on. And we are in a recession. We have not had economic growth in the last 2 quarters. So, positive economic growth. So we're being hit hard up here in Canada. We're not making cash, put it that way. And how can we be importing so many immigrants into the country and supporting them by giving them thousands of dollars monthly in order to give them a place to live, get them a brand new rental car, put food on their plates, and, you know, support them in society when they don't have any jobs whatsoever, and you're importing hundreds of thousands of people, and we don't have any growth to support any of that at all. It's like, it's nonsense. It's like, man, you may as well stop doing what you're doing and just give up. That's how bad it's gotten here. This is totally ridiculous.
That will be the envy of every other country in the G7.
Not likely.
Business investment is declining now for 5 straight quarters. If you were if the business community believed everything that you were saying about how great the economy was going to be, wouldn't the opposite be true?
Exactly.
I'd argue back, Fashy, that the business community, the economic leaders, the business leaders of this country.
No, they know what's going on, and they know that you guys are lying. That's what we know.
Excited about the future of this country. I think they're excited.
No, we're not excited about, you know, this has been bastardized. This country, you brought in so many immigrants here that are sitting on welfare now, and they brought in their sisters, their mothers, their grandmothers, their grandfathers, all of those people that are not contributing to society whatsoever. And you see them when you go shopping. Thanks a lot for subscribing. We got Ed Eagle coming in there. Thanks a lot for the sub. Thanks a lot for anybody that subs to the channel here. I do appreciate that. Yeah. You know what? You see that the entire family is over here. You've got like about 5 kids, the mother and the father. You've got the grandmother. You've got the grandfather. You've got the entire family that has come over from East India or wherever the hell. And you know that you might have maybe 2 people working, probably not the mother. You might have the father working, but you don't have the 5 kids working, and you don't have the grandmother working, you don't have the grandfather working, and you've got that entire family unit that is now being imported into Canada. And you know, they have this special they even came up with a special program where it was, if you're living in Canada, hey, and you've got other family members that are living elsewhere, out of country, bring them over, sign them up and bring them over, bring them into Canada. Those people don't have jobs. They're not going to have jobs. They're not going to be working. They're not going to be contributing to our economy, and they're going to be costing everybody a lot of money. It is absolutely ridiculous what's going on here.
To see a government that believes in growth. They're excited to see a government that wants to work with them to grow. I know our natural resource sector, our oil and gas, you know, our nuclear sector.
No, companies don't want to invest in oil and gas. You want to know why? Because of carbon capture, because of net zero, because of the carbon taxes that are imposed on companies. Did you know that, get this, just the other day, Imperial Oil said that they are going to pull out of Canada. They're closing down their, they own an entire high-rise building in Calgary, okay, where they have that building full of people, full of workers, okay? Imperial Oil, the corporation, is shutting down its office in Calgary, pulling out and going back to Texas, okay? And basically, they are shutting down their operations. We are losing so many jobs. And you want to know why? Because of net zero, because of the fact that in order to pump a barrel of oil out of the ground in Canada, it is costing them $10 in carbon taxes on top of every barrel that comes out of the ground. They have to pay the $10 to the government in carbon taxes. And you know what? We don't get that money here in Alberta, because that money goes directly to Ottawa, right? The carbon money goes to Ottawa, right? And then it disappears, because we never see what happens to that carbon money. Carbon Carney does not tell us where that money goes. We have no idea where it goes. It just disappears into thin air, or it goes to some a globalist banking regime somewhere, and then they lose track of what happens to it. Or it gets spent for, if they do keep it in Ottawa, well, then they probably use it for the gender equity type stuff that they promote in other countries. So, yeah, let's see what happens. Yeah, what do we got here? We got some mail coming in here.
Our defense sector, our infrastructure sectors, our housing sectors are thrilled with the investments we're making.
Then why aren't they investing? Why aren't they investing?
I mean, I can't speak specifically why.
If you allow this narrative to grow that the prime minister isn't here for you, he's not listening to you, he's doing other things, that's going to be hard to shake.
Prime Minister, can you comment on the claims about a recession?
I think the
and the economy, sir?
Okay, right there is Carney when he is asked straight out, you want to comment on our economy? And he doesn't even answer. He just walks away. Sick and tired of this stuff here. Carney and his government. It's all about Carbon Carney and Brookfield, and we're tired of it. That's why we want Alberta independence. Hey, nice talking to y'all. We got to go. Thanks a lot for that phone call coming in here. Appreciate that, Unfiltered.
In the shadow of the
Just let me
Rockies,
close my show down, okay?
where the wild winds blow.
Yeah. And we'll decide as to whether or not we're going to hit the road and head down to Sylvan Lake. I don't know if it's going to be a great weekend or whether it's going to be rain. I don't know.
But Ottawa's taking our billions and fair equalization gain, sending it east to Quebec while we shoulder the blame. No more pipelines blocked.
Write that phone number down so you can call in next time.
Done with the feds breaking free from their reins.
Alberta freedom.
Ringing loud and true. Sovereignty calling, independence.
Wow,
coming
good to
through.
see ya.
No more woke liberalism, stealing our way of life. Albertans stand tall, cutting loose from the strife. Rocky Mountains watching as we claim our own land. Freedom for our families.
Robbie.
With a
Yeah, exactly.
rifle in hand.
Alberta freedom.
Let the anthems roll. We're building our nation.
Deport those aliens.
Forevermore.
The illegal aliens, for sure. And there's lots of illegal. Start with the illegal.
Where the eagles soar high. We're sick of the traitors.
And quit messing
calling us
up our
traitors,
country.
That's a lie. Equalization's a thief, stealing our hard-earned pay, while they push their agendas, turning night into day. Beef ranchers and farmers, grain silos stand proud. Oil rigs turning profits under Alberta's cloud. No more begging for pork.
Yeah, you got that old goat. What's with our weather? Oh my gosh.
With the world in our hands.
It's looking terrible out there today.
Freedom, ringing loud and true. Sovereignty calling, independence coming through. No more woke liberalism, stealing our way of life.
This song was produced by myself. I came up with the words for the song, so the words are from my head, and I used Sumo, a music production, AI, to actually produce the song. But yeah, I like it. It's one of the best, I think.
They say it's illegal, but self-determination's all right. Like Ukraine from the Soviets, we'll fight through the night. No more sending our wealth to fund their endless schemes. Our pensions rising, fulfilling our dreams. Tired of the liberals, their rules and their games. Albertans awakening.
Bum, bum, bum. We're rocking it. Alberta freedom. We can do it. Let's just keep that drive alive. We need to work more. We need to see more of these packs and stuff like that. Set up shop and get signs up on everyone's lawns and stuff like that. Get more people involved.
Sands fueling futures as far as the eye can see. We're Albertans first, with hearts full of fire. Separation's the answer, lifting us higher. No more being the wallet for a broken confederation. Freedom's our birthright, our declaration. Alberta freedom.
Alberta freedom.
Loud and true. Sovereignty calling, independence coming through.
Woo.
No more woke liberalism, stealing our way of life. Albertans stand tall, cut loose from the strife. Rocky Mountains watching as we claim our own land. Freedom for our families with the rifle in hand.
Alberta freedom.
Let the anthems roar, we're building our nation.
Forevermore. With that being said, thank you very much for joining the broadcast here today. You're watching the Tommy Temper Show. I'm Tommy Temper, and hey, you never know. You might see me rolling down the road or something like that with my next. I do something different every time. I don't just do Alberta freedom type of stuff like other channels do. I'm not, boxed into that one thing. We do our own thing. Yeah. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. Mama Red. Woohoo. Coming in there with that $10 super chat. We do appreciate that, Mama Red. Thank you very much. Very, very much. A little late in the broadcast, but I do appreciate that. A great supporter of the stream. Mama Red, thanks for streaming, and go Alberta is the comments with that one. Thanks a lot. Just a little super chat like that makes me feel good and makes me want to go live again. So I do appreciate that. And yeah, we'll be putting that towards something good. There's no doubt about that. Thank you. But otherwise, other than that, sayonara. See you later. Take care. Stay out of trouble. Just plain stay out of trouble. And remember to promote Alberta independence.